Hello there everyone, this is me Ethan here and welcome back to another LEGO review. Today I'll be reviewing the brand new LEGO Marvel Studios minifigure series 71031. There are 12 figures in this series and each pack, as you can see right here, retails for $4.99 in the US. Although you can find these packs for $3.99 at Walgreens in the United States, so if you find them there, you can find them for $4 for $1 cheaper if you would like. I found a majority of these at Walgreens and then about 5 of them at a Barnes & Noble, so those are the best places to check if you cannot find them at a Walmart or a Target. So without any further ado, let's just jump right into the review. Going in checklist order, first up here is Wanda Maximoff, aka the Scarlet Witch from the WandaVision season finale. And I gotta say, this minifigure is much better in person. I did not really like this hairpiece at first, along with many other people, because it is not dual molded like Sylvie's. Rather, it is all one mold and the crown is somewhat molded into it, but it's not dual molded, it's just printed on top, and I'll admit, it doesn't look very great. This is actually the Hermione Granger hairpiece or the Wonder Woman hairpiece in medium nougat, just with the crown, so maybe someday we'll get that hairpiece fully in medium nougat without this crown. Overall, yeah, it doesn't look great, but it does look much better in person, I must say. And then the face is the exact same one from the Infinity Saga sets, one with the red eyes and a small smirk, and on the back side, a very large smile. She also comes with the one-hole Junior's cape, which I know many people don't like, but I think it fits better here because the hairpiece sort of pushes it down, and there you can see the one hole. And while we're at it, here's a look at the back torso print, and the front torso print actually looks pretty spot on. It's one of the best parts of the minifig. It continues down onto the hips and the legs, which look fantastic. Of course, we have the dual molded arms as well in light nougat and dark red. Those look very, very cool, and I'm sure many people will use those for customs in the future. And she finally comes with some red Power Burst pieces. She comes with 2 of these, sadly no extras, but I do have a duplicate of her, so that's great. So happy that we have her powers in an accurate red color, unlike pink. And if you don't know how these work, you just press up against it and they shoot out. So overall, definitely not as bad of a minifigure as people make it. Obviously, since we just looked at Wanda, of course we have to look at the Vision, or White Vision as many people call him. I'm just going to get his accessory out of the way because it's probably the least interesting part for the minifigure, at least in my opinion. It is this weird translucent computer, but it does have a pretty cool print, a 1x2 tile with what looks like a game controller almost, and a keyboard, and you can see the hex maybe a little bit there, along with the WandaVision residence and the sword logo. Overall, it's kind of cool. It uses the book piece that was introduced in Harry Potter a couple years back ago. Somewhat cool accessory, but not very interesting. But here's a look at White Vision. I think he looks really cool, despite him looking like Gray Vision. He's printed on a gray torso. There is a look at the back torso print as well, but in reality, he's not that gray. He's more white, and he has dual molded legs as well in light gray and white. But the best part of this figure is all the printing. The printing looks so good. There's a little too much gold and slight lavender highlights, which I'm not a big fan of, but it continues onto the arms, which just look fantastic, even onto the hips, to the dual molded legs and the feet, and even onto the side of the legs with wraparound printing. The printing is just superb. It's just inaccurate. And I really hope we can eventually get an updated Vision in the Infinity Saga sets, maybe with a little less printing obviously, but in this same sort of style, because like this top part of his torso is much more accurately sized than the other minifigures that LEGO has made in the past for regular Vision. And his head does kind of look like dead Vision, but it's honestly a really cool looking head in my opinion. And there is a look at the back, and just like Wanda, he has the one-hole cape, and it's more of a problem with this figure than it is with Wanda, because at least with Wanda, the hairpiece kind of sat it in place like that, but as with this, it just poofs out a lot. It sometimes goes off to the side in crazy directions, and I really would have preferred the sort of stiff capes. I think that would have worked much better, but overall, White Vision is a great minifigure, super detailed, just not very accurate. Next up here is the final WandaVision minifigure out of the 3, Monica Rambeau. You guys probably already know my opinions on her. It should have been Agatha. It was Agatha all along, but that aside, let's just take a closer look at this figure and appreciate the good aspects of it. First off, this hairpiece, brand new hairpiece. It looks amazing. It is so accurate for Monica. It is just so detailed, and I really do love it. The face print is entirely new, aside from the back one, which is her mom's face print, kind of weird. But she has like a chuckle on the back, or just a grin or smile, and on the other side she has a confused or more angry expression, which I think may be a little bit more fitting for Monica, and this may be fitting for like her in the 70s episode. Her torso shouldn't be white, it should be like a sky blue or medium blue, and then the top should be black or like a dark blue instead of gray, so it suffers the concept art. It's not accurate like we saw on the show, which just really stinks, but she has the sword logo on the front belt print. She's the only minifigure in the series, or actually Sylvie and Monica are the only minifigures in the series without leg prints, but she doesn't need any leg printing. It's completely fine. There's a look at the back torso printing. And finally, her accessory is the shield drone that we see in episode 2, I believe. It is the drone that they send in, and then whenever it goes through the hex, it looks like a toy helicopter, which I think is a really cool accessory. Moving on to the Falcon and the Winter Soldier minifigures, the two that we got for the show. First up here is Bucky Barnes, aka the Winter Soldier, and this minifigure I ended up liking a lot more than I expected. First up, we have this brand new shield print, which is also included with Sam Wilson Captain America. A very great shield print. I really do love that updated print. You can see on his left arm, or our right, the vibranium arm with all that printing. It really looks fantastic. The torso print is very accurate. It does not suffer from concept art like many other figures. It carries down onto the hips and the legs. He comes with a knife, and there is an extra one in the bag if you ever lose it. The front face I don't think is amazing. I think it is a very good Sebastian Stan likeness, especially with the eyebrows. I think those are much better eyebrows than the one on the Infinity War minifigure. I thought those looked really weird, but the only problem with his front face is the smile. It looks really cartoony, and there just could have been a better face print for the front. Doesn't look terrible, but the back face print I think is much more fitting for him. And he comes with the Superman hairpiece in dark brown, which I think works, but I think the Spiky Boy hairpiece, or the Sleepy Boy hairpiece, excuse me, in dark brown would work much better. But overall, Bucky Barnes, definitely a surprise to be sure. And here is Sam Wilson as Captain America, and wow, where do I even start? I guess I start with the shield just to get that out of the way, because we already saw that with Bucky. Yet again, an absolutely phenomenal print. But let's just dive right in from top to bottom. First up, the hairpiece is incredibly thin, so it doesn't cover any printing on the sides, which there's no printing on the sides anyways, but it is a very thin, very, very small hairpiece. It is insane that LEGO was actually able to make a mold this small. I'm truly shocked by that. The head print is pretty nice. There's a look at the back. I don't like the smile. I would have preferred just a regular like disgruntled face or stern face for in battle, because a lot of minifigures suffer from smiling faces for this year in 2021, but it still is a great face print. I love all the goggle printing on there. And then taking a look at the rest of the figure, this is where it really gets good. First off, the wing piece. The base is all one piece, as you can see right here. It is a really crazy piece, very easy to feel for in the bag, but printing on both sides is simply an insane piece. Here's a look at the back torso printing while we're at it, and the front torso looks absolutely phenomenal, as well as the dual molded arms with printing that is insane. Dual molded legs in dark blue and light gray, with already a ton of printing continuing down through the hips and the legs, all the way down to the feet, and then it wraps around to the side with even more detailing. So that's just insane. So getting back to the wing piece, you just pop on this entire piece right here. You get a triangle tile for Red Wing, who isn't actually red, but you know, he's still Red Wing. And that just pops on top right there, and it kind of completes the wings. And that looks so cool. I'm so happy they included Red Wing. And then you get two of these triangular wing pieces that have been on Falcon minifigures before, and it's printed on the front and the back. And of course, you do get two of them, and they look absolutely phenomenal. So overall, Sam Wilson Captain America, such a good minifigure. One of the best Marvel minifigures, and just LEGO minifigures in general. The detailing is just insane, and he looks so good. Moving on to the Loki figures, first up here is of course Loki Laufey-san, the God of Mischief himself, in his TVA jacket. I'm just going to get to the torso print first. It looks so good. He's got the tie, he's got the TVA belt, the little Time Variance Authority symbol on the side behind the flap from the jacket. It continues down onto the hips, and there's a slight bit of printing that continues down onto the legs. Very, very nice. He comes with a mug for his accessory that says TVA on it. Super duper cool. His face looks so much like Tom Hiddleston. I'm very, very happy with that. He has a kind of confused face, which is very fitting for him, and a very happy, mischievous face. It's just so accurate. I love it. It is actually my second Loki minifigure, my first being Mighty Micros. So this is my first MCU Loki minifigure, and to pay $5 for this is really a big bang for your buck. And finally, he has the Old Man Luke Skywalker hairpiece recolored in black, which is just perfect for him. And of course, I could not forget the adorable Throg accessory. He is a dual molded piece in lime green and a metallic gray, like a gunmetal gray. He has the hammer molded into his hand, and minifigures can actually hold on to him through his handpiece, which is like a clip. Maybe I can try and do this quickly for you guys, but there we go. You can see minifigures can hold on to him through that way, and he also has a receiving stud on the bottom, very similar to the Baby Groot minifigure, just with a different head. It looks quite a bit like Kermit the Frog. He has a little Thor t-shirt on right there, and on the back you can see the cape printed as well as the helmet that jots out the back. A lot of people were worried that he wasn't going to have the helmet just looking at the front, but he actually does, and he was supposed to be a pretty big cameo in the Loki TV show, but he ended up being a very, very small cameo, and that is why we have him as an accessory, because originally in the script or whatever he was going to be pretty prominent, but I'm very happy we got him nonetheless. He is so adorable. And the second minifigure in the Loki category is Sylvie, and she looks really good. I'm still super happy that we got her as a minifigure, but there are still definitely some flaws, but I will point out the positives first. The torso print, super accurate, perfect for being based on concept art. Even on the back print looks very good. Dual molded arms with printing, looks great. No leg printing, it's not even needed. She has a green sword, which I don't think it's very green, it's more of a gray with like a green tip on the side, but that's really whatever, it's not a huge complaint. The dual molded crown piece puts Wanda to shame in that warm gold color and this tan color. Very, very nice hairpiece. It's literally the Mad Eye Moody hairpiece, which works perfect for Sylvie without the crown, and I love the little chipped horn on the side. The face prints look way too young. It's just, there's too much youth to the face, I think, and she doesn't smile very much in the show. I think this sort of mischievous smile maybe works a little bit better, but she definitely looks like a child here, and it's not great. And next up is her animal accessory, just like Loki. It is Alligator Loki, or as people online call him, Croaky. There is a difference between alligators and crocodiles, but people like to ignore that. And it just looks like a normal baby alligator. I can see why the designers did this, just so they could reuse the piece in the future for like Lego City sets, but it is a very cute piece. It has one receiving stud on the bottom and one receiving stud on the top. A tail. This is actually my first Lego alligator, ironically. He has cute little printed eyes, but sadly he is just missing his little crown, which is very disappointing. But I've seen a technique where you can actually get gold binoculars and put gold teeth or horns to stick out, and it does look like a crown. Overall, still a super adorable piece, despite missing the key aspect of making this alligator a Loki variant. Moving on to What If, first up here we have Zombie Hunter Spider-Man, and this is another minifigure that surprised me, but I knew would surprise me. So first up, he has the Doctor Strange Cloak of Levitation. Surprisingly, this is the papery stiff cape, compared to the ones that Wanda and Vision had that were the one-hole Junior's cape. This is two-hole, and the top cape is two-hole, which is very weird. I wish it would have included the Cloak of Levitation piece that is being included in the No Way Home set, the one No Way Home set we are getting in October that's being used for Doctor Strange, but it's still pretty cool. I'm going to go ahead and take off this cape real quick so we can take a better look at this figure. So Peter here uses the reddish-brown dog trainer hairpiece from that one CMF series. It's a pretty common hairpiece by now, but it does fit him, and here is his face. I don't think the What If episode that he is in is the Tom Holland Spider-Man. I really don't. It doesn't look much like Tom Holland, but I do think this face that Lego made does look quite a bit like Tom Holland, and you can see on the back that he has a scared expression, which just looks even more like Tom Holland in my opinion. I think it works incredibly well. And then he does have an extra head, which is very easy to feel for in the bag. You can feel for two minifigure heads, but the easiest thing to feel for is its accessory, which I'll get out of the way. It's this very long spider web that's been used for Spider-Man forever. I hate these things because they're hard to keep on display with the rest of the minifigures, but taking a closer look, this is actually the new head that will be included in the Spider-Man sets for October. Very nice head, but I think it works best for the Iron Spider suits because the eyes are slightly wider. The torso print looks great. It's pretty much, or this entire minifigure is pretty much just the Homecoming suit with a brighter blue, which I do think is more accurate. The only difference is that little spider torso print right there. It looks like the one from the Avengers Campus at Disney, and this actually pretty much is the Avengers Campus suit, which is the Homecoming suit, just with a different Spider-Man logo, so you could use this for your Homecoming Spider-Man if you'd like, and I probably will. He comes with some fantastic printing on the torso, like I said before, and there's the back as well as the back head print. On the side of the arms, there's some amazing web shooter printing and just printing in general. The red is very bright for being on a bright blue torso, and the dual molded legs are also fantastic with some side leg printing. Maybe you can see that, and it has those black lines that continue down. A much more accurate figure of an already perfect minifigure, in my opinion, from the Homecoming wave. So here is Zombie Cap, and he is just as good as I thought he was whenever I was looking through the official images a couple weeks ago. He has a brand new helmet print for the Captain America cowl piece with some dirt on there and the scratched up A logo, scratched up wings. It looks so good. You can see the head right here. I think the gray was actually supposed to be blood, but the yellow eyes are so creepy. There's even a slight bit of head printing on the back. I didn't even notice that. But very cool. Here you can see the back of the torso print as well as the front, which looks like the Endgame suit, just very battle damaged, and I think that's very cool, and I think a lot of people like the look for battle damaged suits from many superheroes. He comes with a new shield print, as do many in this series, and it is of a battle damaged shield. I know a lot of people use this for John Walker or Captain America from the ending of Civil War or Captain America for Endgame. It's going to have so many uses. It looks really good. Can't quite get that out of his hands for a second there. And then here we can take a closer look. As you can see, he has one mint hand and one reddish brown hand. On the right side here, you can see some more scuffs, and one of the sleeves is ripped off, and here one of the sleeves is pretty much almost entirely ripped off. And on the legs, you can see one of the boots is ripped off as well, and not on this one, but there are tons of rips and tears. Obviously dual molded, very nice detailing, and overall a solid minifigure, but I would have preferred John Walker. Here is our third and final Captain minifigure we will take a look at in this series. It is Captain Carter, otherwise known as Captain Britain, but in the show she's known as Captain Carter, so I'll call her that. The face print looks so accurate to Haley Atwell and is so much better than the reused Wonder Woman head in the set. The hairpiece is also simply fantastic with all the curls and bends in it. Such a detailed hairpiece, it looks so good. And on the back she has an angry expression, and you may notice that her lips are a little bit misprinted on mine. They're slightly down and to the left, but that's not a big issue for me because I prefer the smirk. There's a look at the back torso printing, and of course now we will look at the front torso printing. Very, very nice. Continues down onto the arms, which is awesome. It's going to be so useful for a Captain America from Avengers Age of Ultron, and for a lot of other Captain America minifigs, it'll be very nice to upgrade. It is the exact same on the other side. She has some reddish brown hands, as well as a brand new shield piece in a recolor in entirely dark blue. But this is entirely molded in dark blue, and I'm not a big fan of that. The print on the front looks amazing, but I think it should have been gray on the back. I think that's more accurate and just looks better. But the Union Jack is very nice, of course, on that shield, and it goes well with the torso. You can now keep your legs, Newt Scamander from the CMF, because Captain Carter finally has official dark blue and reddish brown dual molded legs, and they look amazing. You've got the red stripes on the bottom, the boot straps. It just looks so good, and I'm pretty sure many Pierce customizers are so happy about this, including me. And finally, the last accessory we'll take a look at is the Tesseract, and it uses this shiny, sort of sparkly 1x2, and it uses two of them stacked on top. I wish there was a tile on top to make it flat because that stud kind of sticks out, but I think this is the best Tesseract build that we have so far. Yet again, would have preferred the tile. That would have made it absolutely perfect, but I think it's a pretty good size overall. And here is the second to last What If character in this series, T'Challa Star-Lord, or better known as T'Challa as Star-Lord. I think T'Challa Star-Lord is a bit of a weird name. I would have preferred like T'Challa-Lord or something. That would have been more cool, but whatever. Let's take a closer look. I think the Guardians of the Galaxy What If episode was the best, so I may have a little bit of bias towards this minifigure, but just in general, I think it's an amazing minifigure. First up, we have the original Star-Lord helmet from the Guardians of the Galaxy wave, but with different printing with purple eyes, and the Chadwick Boseman hairpiece, which is brand new in the series, which we'll take a look at in just a second. On top, it is such a cool looking mold, pretty easy to feel in the bag, but such a cool looking helmet, and this is one of my favorite aspects of the minifigure. And as I just mentioned, Chadwick's character does get a brand new hairpiece for T'Challa, and it looks really good. It is slightly bigger than Sam's, but it is slightly smaller than the original Finn hairpiece introduced in The Force Awakens, and it looks great. It's such a cool hairpiece. The face print looks perfect for Chadwick Boseman. It is a perfect likeness. I just wish that maybe on the back we got a more stern head for in battle, because the hairpiece does actually cover up the face, and you can see it covers up the entirety of the face, pretty much. I really would have preferred another face print, but I still think this looks great just for being based on the What If episode. The torso print looks so good with the little buckle there and the little stripes and all the purple. The purple color scheme actually looks really good here. There's a look at the back torso print. Such a good torso print. No arm printing, but that's completely alright. And he comes with the new pearl light gray Star-Lord blasters that were introduced in the Infinity Saga and the Beneders, so if you don't plan on picking that setup, or you simply don't have the money, you can get it in a $5 blind bag, which is very, very nice. Taking those out of his hands real quick, we can take a look at the legs. These legs are so good. You can see there's printing that goes down onto the feet, and it continues down onto the side of the legs, and you can see his rocket boosters on the side there too, which is just fantastic. And this will be such a good upgrade for other Star-Lord minifigures that collectors own as well. It'll look so much better just for those jet boosters on the side. And overall, it works perfectly for this character too, and this is one of my favorite Marvel minifigures of all time. And last but certainly not least, is not the least favorite of the minifigure series, but the most underlooked minifigure in this series, which is kind of sad because I really do like this minifigure. First up, we have a brand new updated hairpiece for Gamora with much more purple printed, and it looks so good. The face print is also updated, and I do like this better. It looks like it's more based on the Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 1 face in the original sets from 2014, which I think looks much better than the Infinity War and Guardians Volume 2 version, because she's got a stern face on the front, and on the back she's got a very angry face, which fits her character much better, and it looks much better on the Infinity War figure. The torso printing, as you can see on the back, also is extremely detailed. It's like the armor of Thanos, which she's basically wearing the entire armor of Thanos. I don't understand why they call her Gamora with the blade of Thanos. She's got his entire wardrobe, but the detailing on this torso is just so good. It's got this extra shine to it. The hips have additional printing that continue onto the legs. They may not be dual molded or have wraparound printing, but it certainly looks really good. I think the blade is perfect for minifigure scale. I don't know why people would complain about it. And then the dual molded arms are also very great in lime green and black with that extra shoulder pad printing. It's simply just such a good minifigure that I think people truly underlook. Of course, now that we're starting to wrap things up, I have to take a look at the checklist and the packaging. So here's the bag. It is a very nice bag. I wish it had the Disney Plus logo on it though, because it's a little bit misleading being called the Marvel Studios series, which that's kind of a vague term. It could mean the entire MCU, whenever in reality, all these minifigures are based on Disney Plus shows, which I'm completely okay with, aside from the fact that the What If characters take up almost half of the series, but that's for another day. Very, very nice packaging. It definitely pops out on shelves. Here's a look at the back. It is the same size as the Lego Movie bags and the Unikitty bags that were introduced in 2017 or 2018. The large bag size so you can feel more of the minifigure. Overall, pretty nice packaging. Then here's a look at the checklist that you get in the bag. Obviously very small whenever it's all folded up, and I like how they tape it and fold it to the point where you can see Spider-Man on the front. I think that is a very cool, almost genius way of marketing. On the back, since I'm opening it up that way, you can see the instructions for Falcon's wings, how to put on Zombie Hunter Spider-Man's cape, how to build Gamora's blade, and how to build the sword helicopter for Monica. Also how to use the stand pieces, which I don't think we've seen before. There's Spidey that we saw before, the little win ad at the bottom. And if we flip it around, we can see the checklist, which is sideways, which we don't see very often, or I guess horizontal is the better term for it. And as you can see, it goes WandaVision, Falcon and the Winter Soldier, Loki, and then What If. And I really like the way those are laid out. It's actually pretty cool. And also, I'm pretty sure that the numbers on this checklist are an updated font. I know I sound like a complete nerd saying that, but it's true. I think the font actually did change. And since I showed this stand at the beginning of the video, I thought I would show it up close at the end, since I know some people have to like it at least a little bit. It looks very ugly from the back, and I forgot that there are 5 figures for What If, so Gamora is sticking out, but from the front, just like this, it actually doesn't look that bad. And I really like how it has like the red on the bottom for, of course, WandaVision, and then the blue on this side for Falcon and the Winter Soldier, the lime green for Loki, and then pink in the back for What If. Since the general color for this show seems to be like a pinkish purple, which is kind of cool, and I laid out all the minifigures. It's made up of mostly 2x4 and 2x2s and 2x3s and 1x4s and all that stuff. It's very structurally sound, I guess you could say, and I'm very happy with it. It actually looks very good on display, and you may notice that Spidey's web kind of slings around, but I actually just put it in this hole right here where the stud is, or right here, so it just kind of sticks on the back. So for anybody curious about that, there it was. So there you guys have it. There was my review of the brand new LEGO minifigures Marvel Studios Disney Plus CMF series. This has to be my brand new favorite CMF series. I just absolutely love Marvel, and especially all these Disney Plus shows recently. And getting most of the characters in minifigure form just makes me so happy, even if some of them are inaccurate, like Wanda and Vision and Monica, mainly the WandaVision characters. I'm just happy that we got these characters in minifigure form because WandaVision is my favorite Disney Plus Marvel TV show. It's just so cool to see these minifigures physically and to get the detail they deserve and the treatment they deserve, even if it's not super accurate and they based it the best they could off of concept art. They're still such good minifigures. So who are your top 3 minifigures? I'd love to hear in the comment section below. My top 3 in no particular order would probably be Wanda Maximoff, Sam Wilson Captain America, and Captain Carter. I know that may have changed from my ranking, but I'm still staying true to that mostly objective rating. But for right now, my favorite 3 are these 3. So if you guys enjoyed this review, and if you guys enjoyed this video, please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And as always, I'll see you in the next one. Bye and have a great day.